My name is Steve James. Can everybody hear me okay? Currently a corporate trainer here in Austin. Before that, a retired U.S. Army veteran. I don't say that because I think it's special. I say that to lend to my character and my professionalism as a person. Because everybody in this room, I hope, is contributing to the world right now. So, my story started in 2011. Started in 2011. Still going right now. Spent a third of my annual income so far trying to get rights for my children. All right, and it hasn't ended yet. 6 years later, I'm still doing this. I filed for divorce in 2011. I got custody. I got primary custody. I was fortunate. But she was an alcoholic and she was abusive. She still got standard rights. And that was not good enough for her or her family. So all of her visits, if she made her visits, they came back physically abused and with a lot of questions about my behavior. Because they were trying to convince the kids that I was the wrong parent to be with. So I filed multiple police reports, court papers, everything in 5 different counties, and watched district attorneys start going like this to each other. Nobody wanted to take responsibility and do anything. Weekend after weekend, my kids were coming back with bruises and cuts. It got to the point where they didn't want to go anymore. And when that happened, I told them, you can't come get them anymore. And then the sheriff showed up at my door and said, if you don't hand them over, I will file paperwork and you will lose custody. Up until that point, despite all the documented physical abuse, CPS coming out there interviewing my kids, showing them the abuse, nothing had been done for them or me. Multiple times I spent my night trying to find her in Dallas, because when it was my turn to pick them up, she would throw them in the van and tell the kids they were going to play hide and seek from daddy. I get the police involved. Not one time did anybody do paperwork on her threatening her rights. Not one time. I watched them physically abuse the kids in front of me at one point. Sheriff showed up, said they didn't do anything wrong technically. CPS defined abuse as loss of life or limb. I put that same bruise in the mother, I'm going to jail. But you can do it to a 9-year-old and it's okay. And every time I wanted to step up and be a man and be a father, they told me I'm going to be arrested. They told me I'm going to be arrested. You reverse those roles, I'm buried under the jail, I'm not in jail. All right, bottom line. Got worse from there. They were coming down from Dallas while I'm at work, stealing food out of my house. I get home in the evening and have no food. At one point I was so broke I had to take a loan just to buy groceries. It was absolutely embarrassing and ridiculous. This is a big example of what it's like when the system fails. All right, we asked at the beginning of the meeting, how many people here were representing an office? Nobody raised their hand. That's the exact response that a father gets when he goes to ask for help. I went to politician after politician, from local, state, and federal, called the White House personally, the State Department. Every single one of them said, good luck. The FBI agent sat in the room 3 feet away from me, looked me in the eye, and told me, if your kids are in Mexico, you'll never see them again. You need to get used to it. That was the support I was getting as a father from my kids. Because a year after I got custody, she took them to Mexico on a visit. On a visit that I tried to fight because I knew that she was dangerous. And even though I had text messages from her directly saying they're in Mexico and I'll never see my kids again, even though I contacted her family personally up in Dallas and they said, yeah, they're gone, they went to Texas or went to Mexico, I was not allowed to file a Amber report, Amber Alert. They told me I don't qualify for an Amber Alert. They said that they're not going to do a missing persons report because they're with the mother. Couldn't even get a missing persons report despite having a custody order laying in front of them. They still would not do a thing. Not do a thing. Nobody would until I called Logan Clarke out of California. And he flew out here, and then somewhere around November, this started in July, or June actually, somewhere around November of that year, suddenly with cameras in their face, politicians and the judicial system suddenly decide they want to do their damn job. And I've asked every single one of them to step down. If you don't want to do it, there are parents out here to be glad to step in there and do your job for you. All right, it's embarrassing that people are holding office, getting paid that much money to help citizens, and they don't help anybody but themselves. How many offices I called where they said that's not in my duties? It's your damn job. You're a public servant. If I need you to mow my grass, get your butt out there and mow my grass. If you don't like it, get out of your seat, I'll take it, and I will start helping people. All right? Because that's what it's about. It's not about a paycheck. And to have all these people that have the power to do something for my sons work harder to find a reason not to than work to find one to do something. You know, that's a waste of tax dollars, almost as much as this court system with divorce. It makes me very angry as somebody who's made a living out of trying to do the right thing. Right? And to have my face, have the door slammed in my face constantly. And to make things worse, because I know we got a lot of time, already past time. If anybody wants to know details, because they got to go back to an office, I'll stay late, because you would be amazed. I've talked to newspapers and TV shows. I flew to Minnesota and did a story with ABC, and they ask me for proof every time because they cannot believe what I'm telling them. They think I'm making it up. All right?
Every one of them.
Every one of them. And so after over a year of searching for them all over the states in different countries, finally found my sons were hiding out in Mexico, locked in a halfway house, no electricity, no adult supervision, because she was afraid that I would find them while she went to work. 9 and 12 years old down there. She would threaten to commit suicide in front of them if they ever said they wanted to come see me again. Eventually, she told them I was dead and there was no reason to come back to America, and she started filing paperwork in Mexico to have their names changed and everything. So you can imagine the look on their face when they finally saw me for the first time. They didn't even know what to do. They didn't even hug me. They had no idea what was going on because they thought I'd been dead for months. They had accepted it already. Even now, after years of counseling, because I got them back in 2013, after years of counseling, they are still not the same. They are still in a protective, defending mode at all times. They've lost their childhood. And the people that did it, they're not in jail. They're all free in Dallas right now. Courts didn't go after them, didn't charge them. There's one person with a warrant on them right now, and that's the mother themselves. But she didn't kidnap them by herself. The grandmother crossed the border with her in the kidnapping. Last year, I got served with papers to go fight for my kids' rights because the grandmother was suing for grandparent rights. One of the kidnappers was suing me in court for rights to my kids that she kidnapped, and the system allowed it. And the system allowed it. It's absolutely ridiculous. When I finally got my kids back, the day after I got my sons back, the day after I got them back, CPS came out to my house and asked my wife what I was like in the bedroom. Incredible. Incredible that after a year of being kidnapped by somebody who was a documented physical and emotional abuser, I was being questioned about how I behaved in the bedroom with my wife. Had no grounds, no bearing. There was no accusations. There was no investigations going on to me. Nothing. It was simply because when she lost the kids at the border, she immediately got on the phone from Mexico, called CPS, and said that I sexually assault my children. So she, as the kidnapper and the documented abuser on the run with warrants on her in Mexico, had more rights than I did as a father. Absolutely insane. I've cried more than anybody in this room in the last 10 years, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I've been hospitalized twice. It's something you don't want to go through. It just isn't. There's a lot more to it, a lot more abuse. Stories I can tell you about and documents, but I know in the interest of time I'm going to cut it short. But just understand, there's no deliberation here. If you're from an office, go back there and tell them there's no deliberation, nothing to discuss. All right, nothing to discuss. Anybody that would vote these bills down needs to leave their office. Anybody that votes these bills down, let me give their names. because I will be paying them a visit next. Because I want them to explain to me why they feel they don't stand on this. Because if you don't stand on this, you're not a human being. You just don't feel. You need to go. You need to get out of here. Like I said, I'll stick around if anybody has more questions, but I thank you very much for your time coming.